First of all, first questions first. What's Fedor doing here?
Fedor's part of our Fan Fest. He will be signing autographs tomorrow night at Dave & Buster's, and he's a Bellator ambassador for the weekend. But then he'll go back to Russia, and let's see where he ends up fighting.
Are autographs the only thing Fedor is going to be signing while he's here?
You know what? We have not talked to him about a contract, and
why is that?
You know what? I think I explained this earlier to a couple of people, but you know, we had Fedor fight for us 4 times, and you know, we feel like, would he be a great addition? Sure, but you know, there's a certain amount of commitment that we have to make over a certain amount of years, and I just said, you know what? Let's see how it goes, and if he wants to fight 3 or 4 years still, then why don't we see how he does his first couple of fights, and then we'll take it from there.
Do you think he still has the draw power as he did?
Oh, absolutely. Let me just tell you, it's like, you know, compared to who? Compared to which fighter? You know, like if you're asking me, can Fedor still draw? Yes, I believe he can. And I was just telling last night, we were at the restaurant last night, and our waiter, who didn't even know, you know, about MMA, he was not a trainer or a practitioner. He's like, Fedor is my favorite fighter of all time, and I used to watch Pride back on, you know, in the DirecTV days when they were on pay-per-view. So he was thrilled. But as far as him having drawing power, I think that he can still draw. And come on, we can promote him. That would be easy.
Who would you put him up with if he were to come over here first?
You know, I haven't even thought about that, you know, but come on, there's a lot of fighters he could fight. We could do a fun fight with him and Kimbo Slice. He could fight Tito Ortiz. He could fight Liam. I mean, there's a lot of fighters he could fight, so, you know, there's no worry about that. But, you know, he told me he'll make an announcement in a couple weeks of where he's going to go, and then we're going to support him. I mean, you know, he's a personal friend, and, you know, I'm going to wish him luck and support him no matter where he goes.
I wanted to ask you about the Reebok deal in the UFC. How would you react if you are having all the negative backlash in your company?
You know what? I think people have to understand this is still a business, and they made it a business decision to make that deal with Reebok. So that's really their business. It's really none of my business.
Would you have done some like an overall sponsorship deal like they did? Would you ever consider something like that?
You know, people ask me that all the time, but right now I feel like, look, these guys are independent contractors. They should have their own sponsors, and if you know, if they want to start being employees, then maybe, you know, we should hire them as employees. And if that's something that happens down the future, then maybe we would. But for right now, they're independent contractors, and we're going to let them continue on and have freedom of sponsorship.
Have you been getting calls from fighter managers from other organizations?
Yeah, the phone's been ringing. Yeah, the phone's been ringing. I just tell them all the same thing. Look, when you're free, then give me a call. You know, we're going to be open for business, and you know, we made a lot of good deals for a lot of the guys that have come over.
What's going on with Kimbo Slice?
He'll probably fight early next year, but he'll be here Friday night. Actually, he'll be here Saturday, so you can ask him yourself.
And what do you have in mind for him?
Haven't really thought about that yet. I mean, we got a lot of great fights in between now and then, but you know, I definitely think that we'll have something really fun and really special.
Scott, what needs to change in MMA, in your opinion?
You know what? We need to build more stars, and I think that you know, Bellator is on our way to do that. And you know, we've bought some stars, we've built some stars, and we're going to keep building and hire and basically keep building from the ground up, and then buying from the top down, and that's how we're going to round out our roster. But you know, we're going to do our part. You know, Bellator is changing in the last 14 months, and I'm really excited to be back here in San Jose. This is my hometown, and I love walking into the HP Pavilion 10 minutes from my house and blowing it up here, and that's what we're going to do on Saturday night.
Thoughts on the Nick Diaz situation, everything that's going on?
That's a tough one, you know. Somebody asked me that earlier, and it's confusing to me because in some states, you know, it's legal, right? Completely legal. And I don't know where, like, how, because I don't know the rules, like the, you know, the commission rules, but it'd be much easier if all the commissions around the country had the same, you know, regulations. I think that would make it a lot easier to really regulate the sport. And you know, it's just 5 years seems like a long time, but on the other hand, Nevada has to, you know, abide by their rules and their regulations, which I don't know. So, you know, I'm kind of speaking blindly here, but 5 years seems really, 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 you know, a long time for any fighter, because think about it, his career might be over now, right? I mean, you're basically saying your career's done. You can't make a living. You can't earn a living. And that's tough. That's a tough pill to swallow for anybody.
If Nick was under contract with you, what would your statement be?
Well, we always support the commissions first because they're the regulator of our sport and they're here for a reason. But I would say to Nick, hey, you know what? You should look at all your options and take action on what you think is right. And that's what I would tell Nick.